So, hello everyone. My name is Andrea, and today I'll be co-moderating this discussion with Liz. And today we are having two hosts, Pablo and Andrés. And so, welcome, guys. And how do you feel today?
Hello, great, thank you.
Mm, You two are coming from Madrid, I heard, or could you guys just shortly introduce yourself and, yeah, just tell us something short about you, something nice?
So I'm Andrés. I'm a political science and journalism student based in Madrid. Yeah, I'm used to make documentaries, short documentaries, as like the really thing I want to do.
And I am Pablo. I studied journalism and audiovisual communication also in Madrid. But we both met last year in France and we made the film together there.
How did you get to know each other?
Yes,
Like it was our first time. We met in France in January this year.
we were doing an Erasmus there, both of us. And we had this interest in common about cinema. So we just decided to make a movie. It kind of
Get to know each
appeared the opportunity.
Yeah, like it was our first time. We met in France in
I
January.
think we're having something in background that's, yeah.
I have a feeling that somebody is having the somebody has the tab.
Yeah, we need to mute the people. How do we do that? I don't know, let's see. Oh, no. Okay, just, okay, and can you just shortly, guys, tell us about your film experience?
Pablo.
Well, like as I said, we just for me it was the first time I did this kind of movie, documentary, short documentary. We just met in the Erasmus. We get along well, so we started talking about cinema and about documentaries because, as Andres said he's used to do that. He has done some few other documentaries before, so he was basically teaching me and saying me how to say how to do it. And suddenly we found out this opportunity to make the set girls, the film set. We just got into it, and it was more or less 4 months process, I'd say. Well, during all our Erasmus, it was absolutely great.
Yeah, I think it was such an experience, but even though I've done like some short documentaries, I was not used to film like months and months. So you have to keep like the relationship with these people, and that's not easy. So I think that was a challenge for like all of us, but I think we overcame.
For how long did you know your characters, the characters from the movie?
So we
Some.
met them in February, I think, and I think we've been like filming until June, um, and we still like have a relationship with them. So yeah.
Yeah, and could you shortly introduce us your project? Like, what was the idea behind it, or how did it all happen? Did you choose this topic, and did you meet these people, or how did it come that it happened?
Well, actually, like the film is kind of a short documentary about age and about friendship. It's a portrait of a group of all retired women who just decide to continue making things with their lives to stay active in the form of street theater. We met them actually by completely hazard. because we were just going to the beach. We just mistaken our ways, so we ended up in this colorful street with all these plants and these paintings in the wall. So we were immediately shocked about it. We had the chance that it was one of them, Agnes, who was there in the street. We dared to talk with her, and that was the first approachment to the group.
Could I ask you how your roles were divided while making this film? Because, as you say, Pablo, Andres was teaching you a lot about the documentary cinema.
So like all the technician things, like I'm used to use cameras and everything, so I was doing all the technical stuff, and at the same time, Pablo was like um, kind of building a script while we were filming because there was so many people talking at the same time. It was kind of tough, to understand the conversations, to try to give a sense. So every time we were filming with them, we were just like building kind of a short script of what we were filming. So at the same time as I was filming with the camera, he was just taking notes and trying to build a script. That was like during filming, but then we both do the editing. So it was kind of a creative process, and we were just like the two of us doing things.
Did you have any kind of structure or general idea of what you would like the final result to be, or did you write the script on the way as you were describing right now?
Uh, More or less, the script was not. I don't think maybe script is the accurate word. Like I was just taking notes of what they were saying so that we were aware of what we had filmed, because we had a lot of hours of shooting. So then, in order to do the editing and to know what we had filmed, they were useful. Those all those uh, notes. And also, for instance, if the room was divided and Andres was in a room filming and I was in the other room listening, just in case they were talking about something interesting, so I could tell Andres to come here and film that. And about the idea of the film, I think we went through a long way of changes of mind and opinion about what was gonna be about, and we just found it at the end, like when we were reviewing everything that we had shoot, and we decided there which was the story that we had and that we wanted to emphasize and to reinforce by the editing.
It's funny because at the beginning we thought we were going to make more kind of a journalistic documentary about different cultures in the same street, as there is like a Muslim community in the same street. So they were like just people, like French people from France and Muslim community there. So we started with that. Then we realized like the French community was such an interesting community because it was kind of an artistic one. And then we started following their families, their husbands, and everything. And it was just at the end, like in April or like that, that we decided just to focus on the woman and everything. And it was, I think, it was in the editing that we finally decided just to focus on them. But I
Yeah,
think,
like we have also a lot of footage about the families and the husbands and activities that they realized out of the street. And I think it was one of the last decisions to just take off everything that was not in the street happening in the street in La Rue de Tunis. And also even I remember even the kind of structure that we used, because the film is made up with cinema verite and interviews. And like the interviews, we made them all at the end of the shooting, because we didn't even know if we were gonna use a narrator voice with a script, or just the interviews, or just the cinema verite. So we finally decided to use the interviews voice as a voiceover, but without a script. and that's the final result. But we didn't even have that clear till we started having the editing.
Looking back to the filming process, how much do you think you left out during the editing?
Repeat the question. I didn't listen.
Looking back to all the material that you managed to shoot, how much do you think you have left in the final film?
I think we had an amount of 15 hours of interviews because it was like 2 hours or like that per girl, and then there were 7 or 8. So it was kind of, yeah, 15 hours. And then I think we filmed about 25 days of verite footage. I don't know the amount of footage. Maybe it could be like 10 hours or like that. And yeah, I think that, yeah, the most difficult thing was just to try to find the sense and to give context. And
Yeah, like the most difficult thing was definitely to take things away and to try to focus on one topic and to tell to can focus well on that and be explicit and make it clear. But it was like, for instance, like for me, that was the first time I really had to do this work of taking away a lot of things. I was like really sad with some specific scenes that I really liked, and that we even edited this scene and we put it with the sentences and with the voiceover and all that, and then we finally decided to take it away, and I was like so difficult. But I think nowadays when I see it, I think it's a good idea that we have chosen those two topics, the age and the friendship, to focus on it and to remark.
yeah, it's true that at the beginning it was really sad to get rid of almost everything because it's 20 minutes documentary. So as you can imagine, we have got rid of almost everything. So there were a lot of sequences just in a barbecue or in like funny moments. But we thought that we should just give or send a message, and once the message is already sent it, then it's just boring to put some more sequences like with the same kind of mood.
Yeah, and apart from this, you're talking about this was like a big challenge for you to uh, take everything out of the film. Like the very most of the film is out, and the rest is just these 20 minutes. So apart from this challenge, did you face any other challenges when making the film? Like, what were the biggest challenges you had to face?
So we had like thousands of challenges, like it's funny because when we were doing the editing, we were struggling about what obstacles our like characters had during the filming.
Yes.
So there were so many obstacles in the filming, but not in the film. So it was kind of funny. I think we have overcome many things. First thing, it's obviously it's COVID, because in France the situation was really bad at that moment. At some point, I don't remember. Maybe it was in March. Pablo, you can maybe.
Yeah, it was the second month more or
March,
less.
that we had like a turning point because we were just in his room, just deciding, okay, should we keep going with this or should we stop?
Yeah, because the thing is like you know how it's experience Erasmus experience. Like you know a lot of new people, you get in contact with a lot of new people. So that was kind of difficult to manage at the same time as we were filming with persons that were in risk, like potential risk because of their age. So we had this turning point where we decided like I don't want to lose my Erasmus experience just because of a film. I don't want to stop filming, but I cannot do. We cannot do the thing at the same time. So we just basically decided to get test every. We had the chance that in France at the moment it was free to get a PCR test. So we just decided we will get test one day before going there every week. So we got test every week, and we have the problem that Andres he got COVID. So we had a month that we couldn't barely but also because of the restrictions that France implemented, confinement, perimeter confination.
Yeah,
Uh,
10 kilometers, like we were in Montpellier, that it's like the city, and at some point we couldn't have gone to Sete because it was like 30 kilometers from there, and we had like this kind of 10 kilometers restriction. So it was also another challenge. I think when you film documentaries you just have like thousands of challenges, even like your relationship with the other one, with the other people, the relationship with them, with the main characters. So yeah, I think you always have challenges, but yeah, it was a plus this.
Yeah, and speaking about relationship to them, to your main characters, how was it, or did it change you somehow, or do you think did you learn something from your characters, or how
Sure.
about it?
I think like they are like our, well, for Pablo are their grandmothers. For me, it's like my mothers. So I think it was really useful to have them during Erasmus. Um, I was lucky to ask them for advice at some point, like due to personal stuff and everything. And also, I think you can learn things from them. Even like the people that see the documentary can learn things from them, because they really give kind of I don't know how to express that, but they send kind of energy, like they have a lot of energy. They just give this message that even though we have this age, we can do almost everything. And I think even they were more energetic than me at some point, or more energetic than people from my age. So I think they are constantly trying to send this message. Yeah, what Pablo.
it was it was incredible because like we didn't realize that at the moment, but if you see the film, you can see that this is not a group of friends that already existed, but a group of friends that we had the chance to meet while they were meeting, and we didn't understand that at the beginning, but that kind of had a consequence that was that we were there at the moment of the group creation, so we were unconsciously part of the group. Like they were the girls who danced, the husbands who were like, and we were all the time there. So for us, they were our film, and also they have become kind of friends for us. We have slept at their houses, eaten with them. But the thing is that for them, we were like the two Spanish guys who were there filming all the time, and we were kind of part of the group as they were. Like that's the thing that we, at least me, I didn't realize at the first time, and it was by the end of the process that I realized that unconsciously, even if we saw ourselves from outside the group because we were filming the group, we were part of that group that was created.
Yeah, sure. I think that was
Uh,
like a beautiful process, because in the beginning we were just like two people who filming, but then as like the process was developing, it's true that we realized that we were part of that group. It was not in the beginning. They were kind of afraid at the beginning, to like to young people filming, like local things and everything. So they were like just asking us why they were doing. But then it's true that yeah, it was another turning point with this, with our relationship with them, and it's true that we realized that we were part of the group.
did your relationship with the group change when you finished shooting and when you had to leave the role of, being the part of the group because you had to end your relationship with, like, the object of your documentary subject?
I think there's some things that changes. For example, I've been there last month with them, and nowadays we can just focus on their relationship, because when we were doing the film, we were just so concentrated at like some technical stuff, some script stuff, and everything. So for me, in my case, I didn't have time to just talk with them and just be relaxed. And now that I'm with them, that I have like a kind of a really that I'm not working, I think it changes. But I think the most important thing that is like the way we have built this relationship. It's still like it was in February. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it kind of paralyzed while the month we spent editing, where we barely not saw them in the whole month. It paralyzed, and that time I remember we were thinking about them as something quite more exterior for from our lives, like because we didn't even know if they were gonna like the portrait we were giving about them, because it's normal that people might not like what other people see about them, or it's difficult to recognize yourself in a movie or something like that. But whenever we finished and we did a small presentation with them, they love it, and we kind of did a dinner to party. I remember that they made a cake for us with our names and all that. And then Andres, he has come back a month ago, and I was there before coming to Prague 2 months ago. And I just stayed at their home. We had dinner with them. I think like it's much more than a relationship of character, that they are part of my Erasmus, as well as Andres is, as well as the other young people we met on their other Erasmus they are.
Okay, and what was the most, if there is any, what were the most exciting moments you realized during the filming? If there is something like this.
Well, I think we might think different maybe because I don't have many memory. Like I'm used to forget everything. So I think Pablo can remind us some moments. But I think like every moment with them was just funny. And the routine that we've built there, just going during the weekend and everything was kind of cozy. Um, yeah.
Like I cannot remember about a specific moment about myself, but I can remember about a specific moment that Andres is not remembering, where I wasn't, and that's probably the most emotive moment for him in the interview with Ghislaine, when she started crying, talking about friendship.
Yeah. Well, that was not the most emotional moment, but it's
One
true.
of the most.
It's not the most. It's true that you're like, but it's true that she started crying, and it's true that when we were doing the interviews, we were at the same time having lunch with them. So I think it was kind of yeah, cozy, as I said, to just film something and then just have lunch with them. I remember with Ghislaine, we had kind of a deep conversation after filming. It was really useful for me, and I think these kind of moments with them, just being drunk with them during night, also it was kind of awkward, but at the same time it was interesting. We were just living what they were living, so we had to do what they were used to do. So all those dinners, there in the street, just playing music, singing, I think that will be the picture I will remember like for ages.
And also, like when we were in the barbecue, and Barbara, he came for one of the girls. He came for the first time. She was the one who had been more reserved to us till the moment, and she came for the first time, and she like confessed us that she was not too much comfortable at the beginning with our presence there, and she didn't understand much. But that now she thought about us as a part of the group, and she was because it was after the month that we weren't able to go because of the COVID issues. So she basically told us that she didn't like us at the beginning, but this month we weren't there. She missed us, basically. She told us that it was strange to not having us around filming and all that.
Mhm. Does it happen often that you become friends with the people you're filming, or when they are like main subjects?
Yeah, I think that's a big subject, you know. Should we be friends or not with the people we are filming? Uh, I don't know the answer. I think in every documentary it changes. I think you should be kind of a reliable relationship. I think you should trust the other. He should trust you. Like trustness is a really important thing. But then, like building a relationship, a friendship, I think it's a decision that depends on the directors. Um, yeah, so it depends on like on the subject. For example, like if you're filming migrants, you're sure like you're not going to see them anymore because they're going to do other things. They're going to live their lives and everything. But I think if you can keep kind of relationship with these people, I think it's maybe it's not the aim of documentaries to build relationship with people, but for me, it's the most important thing. Yeah, to just make not friends, but important people in your life. Yeah.
Like I cannot barely talk about it because that's the first time I did it. But it seems impossible to me, like not to become close to these people. You are living with them, and they have to feel you close because if not, they won't be as natural when you are filming them. Like for us, the process, most part of the time we weren't filming. Like we just were living with them in the beginning. Like for the first month, I think we didn't even brought the camera. Like we just got there trying to get accepted to them, and that's why I think you can see that in the documentary that they are crying in front of the camera, speaking about personal things, being drunk without any concern, and that's thanks to the relation we had with them that we didn't present a threat to them. They trust us and they knew we weren't gonna make them manipulate the things they were saying and that we knew them. So I don't know how that will happen in the next things I do, but seems difficult to me not to get close and to get that kind of deepness in the character.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between journalism and reportage and everything and documentaries. I think when you're like 6 months or maybe 6 years, you know, it depends on documentaries. Um, I think it's inevitable to build that relationship. And what you're going to see in front of the camera, it's truth, you know, because you're not just one day filming them, it's a long relationship. So everything you're going to see in front of the camera is, I think it's more, yeah, it's more kind of a truth, yeah, than reportage and everything.
But like everybody should have their opinion. We both studied journalism, so we had a lot of long debates about that issue of objectivity or our vision and the influence we had on them. We finally we even appear like in the image in the movie, like in a second where I'm just giving
Oh, yeah.
a, a cup to her. So that's a whole debate, and I think there's no correct answer. Like our opinion for the moment is that it's inevitable.
Oh, yeah, thank you for the answers. It's really nice. And just I just wanted to ask, what do you think? Like, how, in which way could your piece of art you brought to the vertices now, how could it inspire the other people? Or yeah, how do you think this set girls could inspire others? Or what do you think? Which ideas can it bring?
No, I think this is mainly a film to people that age. I think that will be the most inspiring thing for people. Because you know, if someone like our age watch the documentary, they they might be they might watch the documentary with a distance. But then if you have the same age as I have tested with people their age, I think they are so inspiring. You know, because they have this energy, they have this way of seeing life that it's kind of artistic, but not artistic. It's kind of positive. Uh, so yeah, might be inspiring for people their age. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's also useful, like for people our age, like for me, my age, just to change a little the way we look at our elders, like at my grandma, at the people I know. It really think it's I really think you can find a lot of inspirational things about it because they are this way, not because of the film, it's because of them. They are inspirational persons in general.
Yeah.
Yes, and maybe this brings me to the question like, how do you imagine yourself retiring?
I'm retiring.
Yeah.
Well, that's like in a time, but I imagine myself just with a couple of friends or family, um, a camera, a big house. Um, yeah, and that's it.
I have no idea. I'm sorry. I cannot answer to that.
Okay. Yes, and now looking back, would you change something in the movie, or are you satisfied with the result?
Okay. Another question. Pablo, you can say something.
I don't know. Like I am so proud of the result, but there's always like things people will never say, will never see that we have filmed. And like I also think that film, that topic, this group of friends, they have potential to a long film if we had more time to stay there because our Erasmus finished and we already get it longer, a month longer and more than a month because of the film mostly. But I don't know, like that's the way it is, and it's I'm really proud of the results. But I will always think like, what if we had done a long film with more time there and all that.
Yeah, and I think I shouldn't have changed anything. It was the possibilities we had, and then after all like the obstacles we have overcome, uh, you just have to be proud. Like it is like it is. That's it.
Okay. Please do you have any questions? Because otherwise I would continue asking.
Okay.
I wanted to ask if, in your personal opinion, your relationship with these people, it influenced your editing decisions at the post production stage. Maybe you found yourself biased at some points, or if it helped the way that the fact that you liked them and that you felt so connected to them, it helped bring a topic in much more diversity and much deeper. Do you think it was positive, or that there are some negative aspects to being so close with your subjects?
I think it's always difficult because you don't want to give the message, or you don't want to embarrass them, and you just want to protect them. So sometimes when you have like a storytelling decision, you just have this kind of moral debate between things. Should I put this image? Should I not put this image? This is gonna be like embarrassed for him, her. So, for example, in our case, we had like a little debate whether we should include like drunk kind of sequences, because it's not kind of um, easy to watch people just drunk and that's it. Uh, but yeah, you always have this kind of thing in your mind while you're filming, sure. But I think in this documentary we don't have any kind of really difficult moral debate. Or yes, I maybe Pablo, you can remember
No,
something.
I was about to say that we had there's always this kind of debates. I don't want to make her look too drunk or too crazy, but we had the chance this time that they were lovely characters, and we wanted to portray their being lovely. So they're them being funny and being energetic and being as they are. So that's a thing now nobody will like not agree. We even with that we had this kind of question: are they gonna like it? Are they gonna get offended? But like at the end, everything went well, and it was kind of a easy easy example because if I had to do something about portraying someone evilness or someone doing something that's reproachable, I don't know. I will probably take a different approach, and I don't know. But this in this case, it was kind of safe.
Yeah, and also I think that this documentary is really pure, you know. Sometimes when you're like filming this kind of verita things, because you need some kind of thoughts or some kind of messages, etc. You try to fake some sequences so everything makes sense. But in this case, I think we've built everything with the things we had. Like everything was really real. There's no fake things. So when you like in the other documentaries, it's true that you might need some kind of fake faking thing. But I think the only thing we faked was just like and it's not even a fake. It's when they're like just introducing themselves, they're just doing some stuff, and obviously like they're not like just walking in the street because
Yeah, like
walk.
the only thing we asked them to do was that like do some quotidian stuff you do at your house, so we can film and have some resource plans about that, and that's the only thing like wasn't organic, completely organic, and it's not even a fake because it's not like we are really talking about she's looking at the window. No, it's like we just had some footage about quotidian things in their house, kind of to present the characters and the spaces and all that.
Mm, this is the question that I wanted to ask because France is quite rich for its cinema verite tradition. And this is, Andrea, what you were saying is exactly one of the biggest criticisms to cinema verite, that it's not very truthful. But what kind of documentaries did influence you most in your work, or that you think are most important for your understanding of of this craft?
Like at the same time we were filming, we were just getting inspired through some documentaries or some directors I really love. But it's true that we tried. Where we've seen a documentary that is called, I don't remember. Probably you can like the one about retirement.
Yeah, like the one about
Yeah, but I don't
uh,
know.
Lance
Lance
Oppenheim,
Oppenheimer. That's the
Lance Oppenheim.
director. But I don't remember the name.
But it
Uh,
didn't. It just had the we just watched because it had the same topic like retired people. But
exactly.
it's not like the thing is Andres was basically telling me the directors he liked are all around these 6 months of Erasmus, and I was just watching films from Joseph Oppenheimer, from Laura Poitras, from Alba Sotorra, from almost like 10 directors that were their favorites and watching these recommendations, and we kind of got from there like these different structures we debated like we want to do it as that, and I've seen that and I've seen the other film, and this way of presenting characters it will suit our history or not. I don't know, like there's no at least for me really
No, there was no any specific one.
pattern.
True
No.
that also Gianfranco Rosi's style and
uh,
yeah, it was really inspiring because I really like kind of journalistic documentary filmmakers such as Laura Poitras or Alba Sotorra, but it's true that Gianfranco Rosi's style it's like really, really kind of the same as we have tried to.
yeah, like I think that was the most point of difference between us two. Like he is more into journalistic style as Laura Poitras, as he said, and I like more taking specific care of the aesthetics as Gianfranco Rossi does. But I don't know, like not really a real reference.
And one of the things that was mentioned during this talk was that a lot of for you those people were very inspiring, and that you were learning a lot from them. I wanted to ask if, by any chance, after you've shown them edits, or as you said that you were showing them some parts and that they liked the result, if they learned something themselves watching them on the screen and learning something about how they are in the world and how other people see them.
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah, we will have to ask them.
Yeah, I'll have to ask them. But it's true that the feedback we received when we're doing like this kind of premiere was that like I think they're not really aware or on how important they are each other for the other one, you know. Um, I remember Barbara saying, "Thank you for doing this because now I feel kind of part of this group as there is something that can prove that I'm in this group, you know, that it's not an abstract thing because he was like, she was finishing the documentary, she was saying things about friendship, and she was really proud of being part of this Le Fil de Set. Um, so I think they were kind of emotional between them after the documentary because they just realized um, how important they are, like how important is the group, even though they are not kind of really close to each other. Um, but yeah, I think they realized, okay, this is what we are doing, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
like I imagine we were. I don't know what they actually think because I have not asked them exactly this question. That would be a good question to ask them.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I think it's always great, like you know, these kind of things we think about our friends or about people we just met, that we are really enthusiastic about them, or we really think this can become a friendship. Those are the things that we don't say out loud, and we were able to capture that in the interviews, and then the others kind of listen to these thoughts they have about each other. And also there's a lot of footage that they would probably like to see because we asked everyone about the others, and we didn't include all of this information in the film. But one of the questions that we had for each interview was asking each one about the other six, and even about other characters that didn't even appear in the movie. But I think it's always great, like to, even for the one who listens and even for the one who's saying, that we kind of make this opinion to be possible to arrive to the other person that probably in another way would never have arrived unless they are like kind of typical drunk conversations. So when we are drunk and we say, "I love you so much, and it's really nice to meet you." These things that we should maybe say more because we think them and they are good things, but we don't really say them as much as we should.
That's really lovely.
Yeah.
And what did the filming experience give to you as well? Now Pablo, you're also filmmaker. Uh, to you artistically, not only personally, but something that you learned about how you like working and about what topics you like to work with.
Well, for me, it was almost everything, as we said, because I study kind of cinema, as communication, audiovisual communication, but I've never seen a documentary as a real option. I had always thought about fiction, and all the short films we had made was fiction films and all that. And now, I think now kind of it's the approach I like the most because I like the way you can do it with barely no resources and with barely no money basically. And I also like this experience that's subjective about should we become part or not part. That's my favorite part, like really becoming part of the group and living their lives, even if we finally didn't do the editing or something like that. And about like professionally, it's the most important thing I've done for the moment, and I'm shocked every time we win or we are selected in a festival, and it's all new for me because I had never presented anything to festivals, and being here in my first interview ever and all that.
I think it's such a good personal and professional experience. Um, Professionally, I think like every documentary you do, it's kind of like you learn a lot. Um, so yeah, it's true that I think in a way this documentary has changed our path, our um, our lives in a way. Because when you do documentaries, you learn a lot of things. You build relationships that are really strong relationships, and yeah, professionally, like it's true that um, like we're kind of surprised of everything we're like just experiencing with this. And for me, it has been one of the most important experiences in my life, like personally and professionally, not just like um, professionally.
Yeah. And so, what are you working on now, or what's coming next, or which topics are you going to explore?
So what's coming next? That's a good question. Um, I don't know if Pablo is planning any kind of documentary. I think it's also really interesting and really, mm, yeah, powerful to see how the others um, works. Because now as I'm seeing all like other people that I've worked with, it's really, really, really kind of emotional to see them doing new things without you, because it's kind of different the way you work with someone, the way you work alone, the way you work with other people, new people. So yeah, I don't know if Pablo has any kind of plans. I have no plans for now to make any other documentary. Um, yeah, but sure, I'm saying this like every year, and then something arrives. I started doing something.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like for the moment, I am in Prague and I don't speak Czech, so I brought the camera and I was hoping to find something not that big like as that, but like to do something. But it's very difficult if you don't really speak the language, the native language. So I don't think I will do anything at least for the next semester, and also because we are still like with all the post production and distribution process of this one. But the next thing, it will be like make one by my own.
Could you share some of the most interesting for you and maybe amusing feedback that you've received while screening the film and showing it to the audience?
Um, so we have not seen a lot of feedback for now because it's still in festivals. Um, I think everyone that watched the documentary like just feel this kind of energy they have, the way they confront or they face life. I think it's kind of inspiring. So I think everyone that watched the documentary feels this kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We haven't projected it, so it's just friends and family that have seen it in our computers, not in a big screen. and also the kind of premiere that we did with a not finished version for the girls, for set girls. So I guess we still have a lot of feedback to receive, and we will see.
Yeah. Any more questions, please? Don't know. The debate should take like 45 minutes. I think we have more, but uh, maybe there's some more time for some more questions. I think there's like no questions from the audience. I'm just about to check. Maybe I would just ask, like, were there some moments during the filming where when you two guys argued a bit? That you didn't have the same opinion about something, maybe?
We've been arguing like for the whole process, like from the beginning to the end. Even like not in the music and everything, like, but during the process of filming, during I think the most difficult times were like the editing, um, because I think it's a really tough thing. You have to be obsessed. You have to be 24 hours just doing things, and yeah, that's kind of tiring. And I can understand that this is not like a pleasure. And we had some, yeah, we've been arguing for the whole time. Yeah, yeah.
Like we for the whole semester we stayed in the same residence, and the month we went to editing, we just got living together in an apartment, and it was like, I don't know, half of the day editing, half of the day still together, living together, and I cannot. I think I cannot. We cannot separate like the problems and the discussions of just convive, like living together, between the problems of the film, because it was all the time separate, all the time all mixed up. If we were, if we had a problem, a personal problem, it was reflected on our discussions about the film, and all the
Yeah,
time like that.
that's the problem. I think we were mixing friendship problems and everything, and the documentary. But this happens every time you do a documentary with someone. Then like your personal like relationship like has a relationship with the documentary. So yeah, but then you have to be really patient. You have to, you have to try to understand the other. And sure, yeah. But I think I've like in every documentary that happens, like, and then
And
you
also,
overcome all these things. That means that you can really work with these people. Um, yeah, but it's true. We've said some kind of, yeah.
and also like, I don't know, we were some people who just met and who were having a project in common and developing a friendship around the project in common. That's basically our documentary. So it was very difficult to not see ourselves reflected in that, and all the time. Also, an Erasmus is by itself kind of an intense experience. So we were just with the feelings all the time, at maximum. We exploded several times. It was great. It
Yeah,
was very intense. A very intense process.
we've been fighting, but that's I've been fighting with everyone I've done a documentary with. So
Yeah, like we fight it, then we make pieces, then we insult each other, then we see each other, we love each other. I don't know. It was very intense and it was very real.
Yeah, the fighting and arguing creates this strong connections and strong relationships, right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but then when you have this kind of pressure that you have to finish a project, then that's the problem. That is when you are like just building a friendship, it's okay, okay, arguing is okay, then you're gonna, everything's gonna be better and that's it. But then when you have to finish something, then you have like this kind of mm, problem. But sure, like we have overcome it. So I'm when I've like every time I do a documentary, I feel more proud of the overcomes we have had with the people I work with and the film itself, because you know that if you have overcome everything that that is a project, when you do a project with someone, then there's so many things like in this kind of package that is the project. So then if you overcome this, then that means that you can really have a relationship in a way with the other person. And I still having relationships with people I've done documentaries with, because projects are, yeah, a really tough thing and long thing. That's documentaries, that's the thing. I remember like with Pablo the first time filming, I don't remember if it was the first time or the second one, that it was February 2021, and I was just saying, okay, that if we start filming this, that means that we're going to be just at least 2 years talking about this shit. So yeah, that means a lot. It's a lot of time.
Yeah, it is. And which places are you at now, or where are you staying now? Are you in Spain or France?
I am in Hostivar, track 15,
Uh-huh.
because I am doing another semester of Erasmus here in Charles University in Prague.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm in Madrid. I'm not planning moving anywhere from now. But sure, like just trying to enjoy Madrid.
Cool. Cool. Any more questions, Liz?
Do you have any more festival plans for the film, or to change something in the post, to change something else in the post production?
Like there's some mistakes in the subtitles that I have already corrected. I have to send you, Andrés, like in Italian subtitles and also that, and I don't think much more.
Yeah, there's no, like, we have already done everything. We should make a DCP, that it's like the digital cinema package for some festivals that requires this kind of professional structure. Um, but then yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we will add the festival stamps,
Yeah,
and that's almost everything.
yeah. And then like yeah, we're in our festivals. We're planning like we want to be in some Spanish festivals, so we're trying to think about more Spanish festivals. But yeah, I think we're gonna go to Paris at some point next year, to a French festival, and we're just waiting for other festivals.
Yeah, but like the film itself, it will remain the same. We won't make any post change.
No, we're not changing.
No,
Maybe
the film is finished.
we have already finished.
And after such an intense experience, do you have the feeling that you would like to go to the full feature documentary, or would you like to stick to the short format for the time being?
I think like you do short documentaries because you're not allowed to make long ones. Uh, Maybe because you don't have this like the staff, maybe because you don't have like the technical things, maybe because you don't have the time. But I think every documentary filmmaker wants to make a feature documentary. But even short docs are kind of a challenge because you have to tell many things in a short time. So I really like short documentaries. But sure, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like it depends on the story you find and if it's worth a feature or just a short. But I don't imagine myself for the moment like going directly to a long feature metrics. I would think it's interesting also that to be able to to focus on one idea, to be able to really get that idea to the audience. And that's great about I think 20, 25, 30 minutes. It's a great number of minutes. But it always depends on as we have worked this time, and as I will work the next time I do anything, I will shoot, and then I'll see what I have, and I see how much it's worth it.
And then like usually you need money to make documentary. You know, we've done that with zero money, with no money, because I had the camera and everything. Um, it was kind of easy to film because we were almost there. But then you need the money, and to make a feature documentary, then you need more money. So I think it depends on money.
Yeah,
I must say that the film had a very professional look, and I wanted to ask, maybe I should have done it at the beginning, what kind of equipment did you use?
Uh, so Pablo, do you want to speak about this?
no, you can do it. We had a tripod.
We're kind of we didn't have a lot, you know, because when you're filming verite, you just need to be small. You just need to be kind of, you know, you just have to get one camera, one microphone, and that's it. We were using uh, camera that is Canon C100. That is a really like not common documentary filmmaking camera. And then with sound, usually what I do, and I don't know if we've done this, uh, we usually kind of mix a shotgun mic with wireless mics because, for example, when you're like in a table and many people is talking, obviously you don't have eight wireless mics. You don't have a sound person just to mix eight channels. So then usually what you do is just put one wireless mic in the table that takes like everything, and then a shotgun mic so you can mix these two things. We've done this at some point, but yeah, we we use the camera, we use the microphones.
And for the interviews.
Yeah, like the wireless mics for the interviews, shotgun, this kind of mix. Um, yeah, I think that was the stuff. Like then, it's yeah, you just don't need anything else for making a documentary, verite documentary.
And also what makes it look also so professional. That's also Anna's work. Really changed the image.
Oh, yeah, we have filmed with this logarithm curve, like it's cinema log, and this kind of picture style gives you the ability to put color on it. Um, sure, it changes a lot. Yeah, color was a really important thing.
Yeah, it really changed the image.
Yeah, it's a really colorful and powerful thing. So then you have to really work on the color, whereas in other documentaries it's not that important. So sure, like color was also with music.
Yeah,
Like we have a really talented musician that is now in the States, the most important university of music. He's a really talented guy. He worked like during just 2 weeks, but in a really intense way. And I'm so happy also with the music. Yeah, that's it. That's the technical things. Like we have not used any kind of really professional thing. But, yeah, we just don't need.
And would you recommend all the documentary filmmakers or filmmakers for this matter to go with this no budget, uh, let's say scriptless single verite approach to as a learning tool and as the way of artistic expression?
Yeah, well, I think verite films are the documentaries are the most challenging ones in terms of stuff. Because it's not just doing interviews and using some kind of archive footage that is maybe easier. With verite, the most important thing is sound. So when many people is talking, then if you don't know what's happening, you have to improvise on everything. You just really need to plan all these things. So yeah, I think if you go for a no budget documentary, just try to invest in sound. I think that's the most important thing, because then if sounds doesn't work, then yeah, what's the point?
Thank you for this very important tip because the sound is essential. Obviously, not only in documentary, but it makes or breaks even the feature
Yeah, and if you
short.
make the films, I think you should be alone, just one man band. You know, you have to be just with like you have to be doing sound and camera. I think then if you go with like sound person and everything, with it's not that kind of you don't build that kind of trust because you have like a fucking stick in there. So it's like yeah, I think you should go with sound and video at the same time.
I think time-wise, this should conclude the debate, or I could give the word to Andrea.
Yeah, I agree that yeah, the time is like yeah, we have to go to the end slowly. But I would just put my last question. Like, what would you say was the what's just basically what was the nicest and most beautiful moment of the whole filming process when creating this film, and what was the one that was the most horrible or the most horrible time or the most horrible moment when creating the film, when making the movie? Or is it like that the best moment is the moment when you are done with the editing? Or something like this? Is it that easy, or
I do
is
have
there any better moment than this when you're done?
different opinions. Like for me, filming it's kind of really interesting, but then the creative comes in the editing. So for me, like if I have to imagine two pictures of the nicest moments, where just like with them having dinner, just singing and dancing and everything, and then like editing during nights after doing things, working hours and hours, just two of us in a terrace. So that was like the two nicest and the worst. Where sometimes you don't want to film. You know, there were some days that it was like a rainy day, and you just had to film some footage, and you have to go to this village and everything, and you don't want to go there. So yeah, there were days like this. So this kind of nonsense rainy days filming there were just like kind of boring. But yeah, I don't know. Pablo will have a different one.
Yeah, like I really, it was really difficult at the beginning, like when they were having a great lunch or they were having a great party or something like that, or just singing and dancing and playing instruments, and we had to stay away and film instead of participating. Sometimes that was really difficult because they I think they forgot we were filming them. They forget we were filming them, so they were like all the time interacting with us and saying, "Yeah, come join us." And I really wanted to do it. So, and the best, I don't know, like I think both the best and the worst parts has been during the editing. Like the worst, the discussions, obviously, and the best, and like we dreamt about it. We knew the sentence by memory. It was horrible. Like all the time we were thinking about it, even if we wanted to relax, even if we wanted to go out. Someone said we were in France, so and the documentary was in French. So someone said a word in French, and it automatically took us to the to the sentence where they were saying something about it, and we knew the sentence. I still know the sentence by heart, by memory. And the best part is when the moment I realized I had made a great movie, because I love the movie.
Yeah, and we like it as well. So thank you for creating it and for coming, for answering the weird questions. And what else to say, Liz?
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your personal and technical experience as well. And we are really looking forward to hearing more from you, and not even hearing, but also seeing, obviously. And we wish you all the best. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you. Thank
Yes.
you to you very much.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.